Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our panel today. I'm very delighted to be here in front of you together with my colleagues. It's a great pleasure to share a stage with them. Today, we will circle around digital media. That is one of the most interesting topics for me personally. We will share with you key insights how to plan, execute, and optimize digital media campaigns, as nowadays digital media is one of the fast-evolving communication mediums in the world, and it is essential for businesses, no matter what size it is or what industry it works on, to have an effective presence in this medium. So we will try our best to share these key insights that may help you to do a better job in this media channel. So I will kick off my first question and first discussion with a question to all of you guys to share your recommendations. What is the key steps, most important steps that advertisers should follow when planning online media campaign? So you can start.
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Plan the campaign is the most important part not to miss because it takes a time, and before do anything else you should consider a lot of factors, the goals and objectives and so forth. And also, I would also add from VELI.store's perspective that the most important thing to consider is to remember to have time to analyze the finished campaign. Because we at VELI, we do like a lot of campaigns, hundreds of them per month. And we often maybe never have time to do that, so maybe you should, I don't know. But yeah, that's the most important part, to analyze what you did right and what you did wrong so that you can do the next one better.
Do you plan preliminary what results you want to get from the campaign, or you just spend budget, set up KPI, set up targetings, and then see how it goes?
Whenever we are going to start the campaign, we always define the goal first. Why should we do anything, right? So even like when we are going to do the campaign, we set the goals, whether it's the purchase or it's awareness campaign or whatever, you name it, and then we do the job.
Okay. So, Emin, can you add some your recommendations?
Yeah, sure. So I think I can speak on behalf of Meta platforms, more or less.
Sure.
As we represent them here. And what Meta advises you is to look at 5 things. There used to be 6 brilliant basics, like 6 things. Now I think it's safe to say that there is 5. And that is your signals, your placement, audience, budget, and creative, in that order. And signals are means that you need to have your pixels set up. If it's an app, then the SDK, Meta's or someone else's, to track every conversion. And ideally, you want to have conversion APIs set up because we're moving into the cookieless world where it will be very difficult to identify who from the audience clicked where or visited. So conversions API is kind of a server-to-server thing that lets you track every single person who came through Meta advertising. So that's the first thing, signals. The second is placement. So do you just want to have your ads run on Facebook or Instagram? I mean, in Georgia, Facebook is bigger than Instagram, right?
Yes.
That's 2.6 million people on Facebook, 1.3 million on Instagram. But if you went across the border to Azerbaijan, it's the opposite. So it depends which country you're targeting, right? And also what kinds of placements. That depends on, do you have videos, do you have banners, do you have what, right? So that's the second thing. The third thing is your audience, right? And Meta usually advises you, and we can talk about that later, to have as broad audience as possible because the AI will figure it out. Now, the fourth is your budget, right? So I think this is a drama theater or a comedy or everything, right?
It's a theater, yeah.
So if you want to reach all the men and women 35 plus in the US and you're setting up your budget to be $2,000, that's a comedy, right? So
yes, sure, you will not have any kind of results.
Yes. Pretty much, exactly. So you want to make sure that your budget is adequate to your goals. And so that's the first four. But 50% of your success, and in my 3 years at Meta, we did the studies multiple times, and we found out that 50% of your success is creative. So how engaging your visuals are, your concept, your ideas, and all of that stuff.
That's very interesting, and I would like to talk more about the creative impact on the campaign performance afterwards. Now, Giorgi, can you share your recommendations as well?
Yep, I can't relate much to these awesome answers. Just I like that by our experience, the user experience is also crucial to offer through it some kind of experience what to await afterwards, and that just don't to give some kind of information that won't convert afterwards. I mean, if you want to show some ad in Bank of Georgia's channels, so we are really checking it and looking through if it really delivers value to our users and if its experience is what our customers are used to.
So you have set a standard of creative that will be aired through your app.
Yes,
like
sure.
it goes through the moderation process as well. Okay, now I want to talk about the target audience. I mean, you have said very interesting things about choosing target audience, and not recently ago, Meta has launched its automation feature in our ads cabinets that helps advertisers to optimize to choose and optimize your campaign performance by machine learning. Can you share with us what's the difference, what it benefits campaigns more than manual targeting, and what can we get from that?
So, yes, between the last year and this year, Meta has done a lot of advances in the AI, which makes a lot of the things you used to do in terms of setting the audience, especially the small slices, obsolete. I still see that a lot of clients of ours, they still do this very targeted, narrow results. What that does is that increases your learning phase, because every time you introduce like this small audience of people, I don't know, 45 and over who like cars and live in a certain city or a country, right? The system, the machine learning has to learn, and the learning phase can be anywhere between 48 hours and 3 weeks, because it's a new thing, right? In addition to your campaigns. And if it's an e-commerce campaign, it takes longer because you have a lot of items in your dynamic feed. If it's media campaign, awareness campaign, it will probably be shorter, but still every time you have to send it through the learning process. As opposed to if you just keep running one broad campaign, and for the new ones you set the audiences very wide, like it's for your target audience, but you let the system decide. That compared to last year, it gives about 20% better results now. And it makes everyone's lives easier, I think.
And how it translates into better results? It has more cost-efficient parameters, or it has more interaction with your creatives and ads?
It finds more people that you need for the same budget,
Okay.
basically.
Giorgi, can you share your experience how you split your budgets between these AI learning targeting options and manual campaigns? Do you still even use manual campaigns at all?
That's like exactly the question I was waiting for, because in my notes I have 50-50. I would like to add on to what Emin said, that that kind of campaigns without almost any restrictions or limitations is really impressive in results. And I would say that we use those to maximize the results. When we know what results we want to achieve, for example, I don't know, we want to have 10K downloads per month, and it doesn't matter the audience, right? We want those downloads, and we know it's like Georgians. We run this campaign and it works like a charm. But there are some cases where we exactly know what is the target audience For example, I might want to talk to you guys after this. We have this Facebook advertising. So if I know the audience, I always use this targeting restrictions, and that's useful as well. And I would also add one more thing: if there are some cases when the content is specific, we want to address the, I don't know, the abandoned cart or whatever it is, or I don't know, the all the users who have purchased on VELI.store. We want to, I don't know, say happy birthday to us. It's been 2 years. I sneaked that into the conversation.
Okay, it's very useful to know your experience because on the market, as I can see, your VELI.store is one of the fast-moving and fast-growing company that have shown that has started from the scratch and evolved to one of the top e-commerce web pages in Georgia that both works on awareness campaigns and also e-commerce and result-oriented campaigns. So it is very valuable to hear your experience. Giorgi, your new product from Bank of Georgia that offers like similar options that we already have in Meta and we have through Google Ads. What can you say how it adds on value to advertising for Georgian marketers who are seeking for specific audiences or maybe having awareness campaigns? What add-on to the value does your product have?
Our platform, what we developed, it's manager of Bank of Georgia, is built on customer segmentation. So it's from where we started creating it. We just give a possibility to our customers to choose between segments what they have, and after that put more sales-oriented campaigns than just general brand awareness campaigns. Because in brand awareness, you can't really use the segmentation as previous speakers mentioned, and we believe that for that reasons, Meta is much better to use, but for delivering the options and what we can deliver is based on our data, what we have. Like, we don't have interests that are based on what they are surfing. We have interests in what they are spending their money. So
it's also kind of interest as well, because you know more about ourselves, I think, than Meta and Google may know. So I think it's very interesting to use it as an additional platform to use for communication and part of the media mix that digital advertisers are using in the market. So Georgian market is kind of divided on several directions. We, for advertisement, use local web pages as a platform to communicate. We use RTB platforms like Meta and Google Ads, and also I think your solution will be like a third option to use for media mix as well.
Yeah, for sure, because we are based on totally different data, as I mentioned before. We are more like transaction-based data that we can provide and give segmentations based on that, while other platforms are more likely on web surfing and other habits, what they are targeting.
Thank you, Giorgi. So we smoothly turned into the media mix topic. I think it's more addressed to Giorgi from VELI.store. How do you choose platforms to include in your media mix? Because we have a lot of platforms. We have outdoor, we have TV, digital, that is also divided into a huge lot of directions. How do you choose what to use in your campaigns?
Basically, what we always need when running the campaign, I said it, is the results. So based on what result we are going to have, or we are expecting to have, then we are going to choose the channels. And because the VELI is the largest one, e-commerce in Georgia, so it's like we have the largest number of users or visitors. So we know their behavioral data. We know what channels are working and what channels are not working to make a purchase or to, I don't know, raise an awareness. And we are also actively watching the formats as well. And see and like always measure how those convert. So then like we have a lot of knowledge so far, and so we decide, for example, some of the digital channels which are like mostly using this AI targeting tools and content distribution, we are using them, for example, to convert the users to make a purchase, because they are quite intensive ones. Maybe you've seen it. And sometimes we just want to spread the word, and I go and talk into the TV shows like I did it this morning, so at 7 a.m. So yeah, that's
so
basically that's basically the case. So we see the formats, we see the channels and the platforms, and we know how they work in terms of like VELI, from the VELI point of view.
Do you use A/B testing? So do you have like split of budget for testing campaigns and for just actual campaigns you want to get results from?
Yeah, we try, like, to put it simply, we try to have at least 10% of the budget to play with, to try new things, to try the new, to go into a new adventures. For us advertisers, it's adventure too.
Yeah, especially when you have that data in your hands online, like 24/7, and you can see how impactful your changes in your ads cabinets can make to your performance. So I have a question for Emin and Giorgi, you as well. How often do you recommend to check your campaign performances in order to like optimize it or make calibrations in audience or placements or make some changes? How often would you recommend to see what's going on and then change something?
Less than I would like to, because
Okay.
you should always, how they say, to check the pulse of each and every campaign and the visual, but it's obviously impossible. So I don't know what we achieved so far. It's an achievement.
It is, not with that. It is really impressive achievements.
So it's an achievement that we did, is that we have monthly thorough overviews of like how the past month went, like what was the best and the worst, and where did we effed up, and where did we went into the right direction. And when there is more dynamic into the campaigns, sometimes there's like, I don't know, a weekly campaign. Obviously we check it weekly.
Okay, but do you look more on overall results you have, or you do micromanagement, like dig into every creative and every like campaign you had, or do you just see if I had the KPI planned within the month, then that's okay?
For me, it's obviously what matters is like the main numbers, and I share this, I don't know, to the team as well, this approach. But when we see that something big, like we don't have that much users as we want to, then we start to go deep. Why? Why did not we achieve those 1 or 2 big metrics we wanted to?
Okay, I just have a question that raised right now. I wanted to ask you about your team. What specialists is your team combined of? So you have the advertiser separately, analytic managers separately. So for running a successful campaign, how much efforts and stuff you need to run it?
There is a lot of effort necessary, but we are a few. And we are multifaceted people. I would say for myself that I just facilitate these people just for them to just be happy and do their job. That's not much that I do apart from that. But the team is really eager. Like we have this, I don't know, shared responsibilities, and you may call it KPIs, which they oversee. I don't know, for example, the sales from our point of view, or acquisition in application campaign and so forth, and they own those KPIs, and they communicate with the team with the content. Even we try to like let the designers know, hey, this visual, nah, you liked it, but it's not working. Yeah.
I think it's quite important to share results with the team that actually does the work and creates the content, I mean copywriters and designers, to feel the brand flow and to feel the impact of their work to the advertisement that you're doing on your end. So I think collaboration of the whole team and their deep involvement in the processes is quite important for running the campaigns smoothly. So, Emin, can you add also your stand of view on that question?
So that's a good question. I can think of 3 distinct instances.
Okay.
Let's say you have a static campaign where there is, I don't know, 5, 10 images or messages, or like the ad set is really small, and you just want to drive awareness, let's say, right? So that campaign will probably get up to speed where it responds to your KPIs in 2-3 days. I mean, a few days, and it's okay. So if it didn't fully start to perform in terms of impressions and everything, like after 1 week, you should be concerned because it's a simple campaign, simple setup, right? The learning phase is shorter. Now, if you have an online store, and let's say you have a couple of 100 SKUs, right? So it's an e-commerce store, you're selling chacha or wine, or my favorite kind of store, right? So but you only have like 200 different types, then it should take you like probably no more than a couple of weeks, because there are not that many SKUs. The algorithms find the right buyers for it. It's a performance campaign, it clicks and everything, and that should be fine. So after 2 weeks, if the campaign did not start to perform, you should be concerned. Maybe give it a few more days. Now, if you have an Amazon kind of like number of SKUs, I don't know,
counting
hundreds
millions.
tens of thousands, even like hundreds of thousands, right? And the budgets are okay and everything is okay, and you gave it 3 weeks or 4 weeks and it doesn't perform, I think that's when you should be legitimately concerned. What is going on with my campaign, right? What's wrong? Settings or anything else. So it really depends like on these 3 different cases.
KPIs.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it is, and thank you very much. Also, in our agency, we get quite often requests for small campaigns, like, for example, 1-day campaign with special offer, a big discount, or maybe it could be like 3 days, but it's still short. So based on your feedback, I understand that it's not this small period, 1 day or 3 days is not enough for the platform to optimize it properly. What would be the minimum days of airing the campaign that you can recommend for awareness?
If you have a request for 1-day campaign, just rebrand some local website with a high traffic. I think that's the best way to do it. But really, right? I actually recently received a request from one of the clients in Azerbaijan. They're doing a big rebranding next year. They have big budgets. They said, can we rebrand Facebook? Can we paint the Facebook page into like different color? I said, maybe, who knows?
Depends on how much money they have.
So yeah, if you have 1-day campaigns, that's probably best not to invest into the platforms like TikTok is not available here, but if it were, right?
Unfortunately, I want it so badly.
Maybe one day, who knows?
I pray for that.
For the export clients, yes. Like if you do export e-commerce outside of Georgia, definitely that's doable, right? But yeah, so the minimum would be something like 3 or 4 days to see some normal good results.
Okay, I think it's very interesting to consider because, for example, during occasions like Black Friday or Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, we really have a lot of these small campaigns that, from my opinion, do not show result because of this short period. Platform doesn't have time to process everything and to set it up and go push the ad in full power. So it's very interesting. Thank you very much for your recommendation.
Next time they ask, just say Emin said no.
Okay, I will refer to you. Thank you. So we also, during the talk, mentioned importance of creatives and ad formats. What can you recommend advertisers in frames of optimizing campaigns, in frames of creatives, and how much impact does it have on the ad performance? Can a good visual reduce cost per click or cost per engagement, or can it bring more awareness and interaction within the same budget, just with a bad visual?
Just one sentence, it makes users click, so it's rather important to engage with them, to make them click or do whatever you want them to do.
But can you mark out some trends that you experience? For example, now I see that videos work better than static visuals. But in case of static visuals, if you have some very interesting, more simple but very bright and impactful design, it may bring you more results than an average video campaign.
For us, it's sometimes, not sometimes, always overwhelming to produce such like numerous creatives, you know, and especially we know, and you know, like everybody here, that video is more usable and engageable, it's not a word I know, than the photos. But you have to produce that amount of videos for each campaign, and I said we have hundreds per simultaneously. So now, for example, what we are going to do, like in a few days maybe with the Evido team as well, is that we started to test a new campaign of generating the videos for automatically generating the videos for the Facebook carousel ads, where you just provide the feed of the products, the image, the price, new price, old price, I don't know, whatever the price, and you just provide everything, and the video, boom, it's there, the branding and the colors and everything. So I'm really excited to see the results of that, but I'm sure that it's going to bring the results.
I'm sure in that too, but for example, I didn't hear any company here in Georgia yet use that technology in such a full power. So I would love if you will share with me the campaign performance. Yeah. It would be very interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of the future. We actually just got green light from Meta to open this up to like a few select clients in select markets, which is like, this is your normal feed, right, of, I don't know, 1 million products in that SKU, so 10,000. And if you have video assets, so you can mix, like you can have a picture and then you can have a video next to it, right? And the system decides what to show to whom and makes it a lot more clickable. But this is just the beginning. This is literally like, you heard it
baby
from
steps.
us, no one else.
Nice. So it's available for Georgian market as a whole or for the specific companies?
There are limited tests right now. It's like literally you have to apply for it.
Okay, nice.
You have to be big enough.
Sure enough. So we talked about money as well a lot. We mentioned quite a few times that the budget is important. How important it is? How to decide how much money to spend on the campaign? So we know that we want to get, for example, 10,000 clicks, but is 10,000 clicks for like X amount of money enough to be like visible and have enough share of voice? Or maybe very often we get like, can you recommend what budget to spend? But without any KPIs that you want to get, it's very hard to say how much money you should spend. So what is the key parameters that advertisers should consider when planning advertising budget?
The goals again. We know what cost us a purchase, for example, and we want to sell that much. So that much times the cost, the budget. So if we came to you, and we came to you multiple times, we always came with that kind of proposal. We want to get those results and ask, like, it's our cost, but maybe what you think, what it might cost us, and then we did the media plan, and it was in line with what we wanted to achieve at VELI. So we said, okay, it's a green light, you can start the campaign. Other than that, it's just a guessing game which leads to nowhere other than the frustration.
Yeah, but I think it's important to understand the market trends and ongoing activities on the market to like be in line with your competitors on or overall noise on the market. So if you have not enough impressions or not enough clicks compared to the average on the market, it's,
You can order a share of voice report for that. Again, if you're big
how
enough.
much does it cost?
It doesn't cost you anything, but it's like we can do it once per quarter for a large client. Let's say like top 10 clients can get it. And in the share of voice report, you see your share of clicks, impressions, and everything. Compare it like to your top 6 competitors.
Oh,
So like to the industry. And it gives you like a lot of different statistics and ways to look at it. And you see like you're 30%, 50%, in case of Bank of Georgia, maybe even more. I don't know, but like for your vertical, right?
Yeah.
So how much you are, what your share is. And if it's not enough in certain categories, then you know where to invest.
Yeah, frankly, I didn't know about that feature that you have.
let's talk
and
about
I
it
was
after.
quite excited because right now we do not have any measurement solution that can make benchmarking of digital industry here in Georgia. And knowing that you can do that share of voice analyze in certain verticals, it's very useful because this is your like KPIs that you will be based on the figures and not just taking from the air. That's really great.
So, yeah, it will not give you the cost per impression or
No,
cost per click, but it will definitely give you your share, like share of voice.
If you know the estimated numbers of impressions or reach or even engagement that competitor has, you run your own campaigns, so you know the average costs that you get. So you can make the rough estimations what that result would cost. So that's very good ground for calculating your budget to be on top of mind for the digital audience on local market. Thank you for that insight.
Sure.
Beyond traditional formats, for example, in case of Meta, they are constantly testing different kind of interesting new formats, like video mixed with images, with music on top. So what trends can you mark out that work best, besides the traditional advertising formats like display and video, maybe search?
So I think we just talked about one, mixing the videos and the images in the dynamic
But it's
feed.
not available for all right now.
Yeah, but you're asking about what's in the pipeline, right? What is coming
okay.
down the road, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is a lot of companies that's available right now experiment with click-to messengers and click-to WhatsApp and click-to Facebook Messenger, click-to direct, and click-to-call, actually. Depending if you are looking for lead generation.
Having the call to action.
If you guys have had some good experiences with that, please share.
I will just agree with that. I don't have nothing much to it, but apart from that, you just do the testing and you just find the visuals and creatives which work for what purpose, and then you just use this
Match
matching.
the call to action to it.
I would also want to hear about Bank of Georgia's platform as well, because we have not used it as well, and from the 10% of the budget we're gonna
test that one as well.
Yeah, we just agreed backstage, like next year we're gonna start testing. So
We are just starting, and it's in beta. So we have just images, and recently I did stories in our blog app, which delivers approximately more than 1 million views per day for general, and we are some kind of looking through it and watching if we can extend that one with videos or any other formats that might work, but we are not sure at this point, because what we see, images are doing quite great right now.
million impressions in stories per day, I think that's a big number to brag about.
So you concentrate only in your app, or you have any additional communication channels as well where we can see that?
Yeah, we have quite diverse communication channels. One, we have this offers.book.ge, where it's just a web page where we provide all the offers what we have, and the main users are our bank clients and less digital friendly clients as well, because they are searching for some information and they end there. Second one is Bogap, as I mentioned, where we have more than half of economically active population of Georgia. That's 1.3 million people. And the third one, and I think most interesting one, is our school app, where we have kids from 13 till 18 years old. And we have more than 100K users monthly. And I think that part is really interesting for some advertisers to
Yeah, sure. It
put
depends on the
advertisements.
product.
Yeah, we are just strictly monitoring the product, what might be advertised there, but on the other hand, you really can't find that kind of targeting in any other platform right now.
I think we covered like a funnel that is important for digital marketer to follow. So starting from planning and setting up KPIs up to airing campaigns, choosing target audience, then in the bottom part it is creating creatives, choosing the placements, then airing and making the optimization. In conclusion of our today's talk, I wanted to ask all three of you to share, like maybe you have two or three key points that digital marketer or advertiser who is planning the campaign should follow and consider when planning the campaign. I mean, let's start with you.
Okay, so if we're concluding, Maya, first of all, thank you for the amazing session, right?
Thank you.
I think at the very basic level, it's unbelievable how many advertisers that we meet don't actually measure the results first. Like they don't know how, they don't put the measurement system in place. So if anything, like the most important factor is not even creative, just to learn how to measure it. Right.
I agree,
so
100%.
what are the KPIs? Right. That's like one and only advice, and then just take it from there on.
Yeah, and this gives you the ground to plan your campaigns better in the future. So you need to know what worked and what didn't work, because even $100, it may sound very small, but it can give you a good results if you know where you spend it right.
It's kind of the foundation.
Yeah.
For the house.
Yeah. Giorgi?
Once you are good with the measurement system and you have set it up, the next thing I might say, I don't know, I've said it 10 times today, what's wrong with me, but it can be the goals, because if you don't know what are you expecting to get at the end of year, even not even the campaign, right? You cannot successfully put the map or the roadmap to the success. And you cannot check it and see with these measurement tools if you are achieving those goals or not. So always or never start the campaign without any measurable goal.
If you do not know what to compare to, so you have like 1 million impressions, 10,000 clicks, but is it good or not? If you don't have the
some
base.
people say, we want awareness. What's an awareness?
Yeah.
From what audience? To whom you are talking? I don't know. So
100%.
if I wanted an awareness from that part of this stage, I would mostly look at this direction.
Okay, Giorgi?
So to add to these two key points, I'll add that to know your segment and product and do research before even starting to advertise. Just what's your product market fit, who is the person you are talking to, and start from there. I think will be the ground rule. One more ground rule.
Yeah, thank you. And from my side, I would also add that do not plan your campaigns for a whole year with a fixed strategy. Always have the room to change something, to test something, and to be more dynamic in your budgeting and KPIs, because, for example, we have clients who say, let's plan a whole year and just follow the whole year as it was planned in the beginning. But the market is very dynamic. We have different new things happening, good or bad, that influence on the results. So you must adopt to the changes you have. And being like open-minded, looking at your data, looking at your target audience and the KPIs that you received along the campaign, and making correct assumptions and correct planning for the future is crucial. So thank you very much for your time here and for sharing the stage with me. Hope we will meet again in the similar situation, and I would like to thank our audience as well for listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you.